Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Dr. Karen Ollemans and I am your instructional coach. Today I want to talk to the teachers and educators amongst you. I want to talk about what a quality online education looks like. COVID-19 has caused a tremendous amount of stress amongst the teachers and my teaching colleagues out there. And that is because in a very short space of time, they have had to move all their teaching content, all their materials, everything online with very little guidance, little background, and very little know-how. I have been an online educator for a long time. In fact, I started my online education journey back in 1995 when I helped to move an undergraduate psychology course into the online space. I have had the opportunity to work both in the university sector, doing this work and supporting educators to move their courses online, as well as developing online education in schools. And I want to bring this expertise to you. I want to help you with some guidance about how you can also do this successfully, from setup right through to the assessments. Online learning that motivates and engages the students and, of course, supports their learning. An exploration of the literature, and I'm going to talk about the literature because I have been a researcher in this space in that time as well. And the literature shows us that the literature of what quality online learning looks like shows us that good e-learning and student learning satisfaction, very importantly, comes through the inclusion of some key elements, beginning first of all with the educator's expertise and their support for the students in that learning environment. Now you might be sitting there saying, well, I don't have that expertise. You have the expertise as a teacher because you already are a teacher and an expert, and you know how to support the learning of your students. And I'm just going to show you how you can do that in an online space and do that well. What is important to begin with when you're setting up your online space is the structure and the coherence of the learning material as it is presented to the students, such as the use of advanced organizers, the clear presentation of the learning objectives, the intentional and explicit structure of the learning content, the use of images and corresponding text, and an unambiguous statement of the prior knowledge of subject matter that is to be covered, so that students know what they should already know before they start this next topic. All with a focus on quality, not quantity. It is also really important to provide opportunities for the students to be challenged, to arouse their curiosity, and have choice through meaningful, self-regulated learning opportunities that stimulate the learning motivation. A well-structured e-learning environment should also include collaborative learning opportunities. That is, those ubiquitous communication channels with the peers and with their teachers. And finally, assessments should be clearly stated and constructively aligned with the learning outcomes. So, there are 4 questions that you need to ask yourself when you're heading into this space, or when you're rethinking your space, which you may well want to do when you finish looking at all my videos. The first question is around content. What is the type and the nature of the content to be learned or received by the student, and how are you going to structure that? The second question is, what instructional strategies will be used for delivering the content, and how will your students engage with it? Now let me tell you that this is something that is often actually overlooked. There is an assumption that if I pop it online, the students are going to look at it. That doesn't happen. Let me tell you that straight away, right off the bat. You need to think about the instructional strategies that you're going to use to make the students engage with the learning content. Third question, what communication tool will be used between the student and you, the teacher? and between the students and the students. I talked last week when I was talking about social and emotional well-being for the students who are at home. This need to communicate with their peers, and that is really important. You have a key role here as a teacher to help facilitate that in this online space in some way. Finally, the fourth question is, how will you assess the knowledge gained and the learning outcomes and how they have been met? Over the next few nights, I want to actually introduce you to a model that I have developed over my 20 or so plus years of online education. And this model is to help you develop your online educational space. It's what we might call a morphological model, so it's not hierarchical. It's where each of three modes of online learning, what I have termed foundational, interactive, and transformational, utilize those four core elements to produce four intentional student outcomes: the motivation to learn, engagement with the learning, satisfaction with the learning experience, and most importantly, learning. Now, I'm going to place an image of the model that I have developed over time, and that is actually currently awaiting publication with a publisher, and who knows when that will happen. And I'm going to place a copy of it on my Facebook page at Kairos CT. So go and have a look at it, and then I'm going to explain that model over the next 3 nights. I'm going to begin with foundational and explain what that looks like. And it may well be that that's as far as some of you will want to go, and that's okay. But I'll talk a bit more about that tomorrow night. So I'll see you then.